I'm known in the family to be a control freak about preparing food. In fact, in my family, there are 2 dinners in the year that all members come, all 30 people, and before I took over, all dinners were extremely late. There was always some problem with seasoning or poor preparations. I'm organized, and for every meal, I have a spreadsheet with everything I need to make a huge-scale dinner. At first, they didn't respect it. Still, after seeing that my method was useful, everyone joined in and allowed me to be the head of the organization. Since then, dinners have been ready on time, and everyone praises and repeats the dish. Not very common. It takes 1 to 2 days to prepare meals. I don't ask them to help me because I know I'm serious with organization, but if the person wants to, I ask them to respect the process. Another fact, my mother was a cook for 1 year, and my sister-in-law is studying gastronomy. The situation. Sunday was the half-yearly dinner, and I was the head, as usual. Would help me, my sister-in-law, mother, aunt, and uncle. This would be sister-in-law's first family dinner, and she offered to help. During the preparation, my mother started to do several things wrong, and every time I said something, she said something like, "Stay calm. A wrong thing will not lead to anything." The problem is that she did so much wrong, skipping so many necessary steps in the food, that most things I had to redo or give it a second look. She continued to help, even though I said it wasn't necessary. Finally, I broke down when I just commented something about the steps with my sister-in-law, and she corrected me. I was going to comment, but my mother said, "I think you better cool off in the pool and let those with experience sort it out." I accepted, grabbed a glass of wine, took the spreadsheet with me, and spent the whole day in the pool, ignoring when asked to return. So dinner was late, poorly seasoned, undercooked, and no one had a second dish. My mother later said I ruined dinner and humiliated our family in front of relatives in revenge. I shouldn't take that seriously because it was just a silly family joke. By the way, I love making these dinners. And yes, my mother's and sister-in-law's behavior is common. Am I the idiot? Edit. Examples of what she did wrong. She put too much salt on one of the meats, which was inedible. There had to be 10 of something for the food, and she cut it in half because it was too much. It wasn't. Also, she started to make rice very early, and we used the pan first for other food, and the rice was last because it was the biggest and heaviest pan. My spreadsheet basically has the amounts and how long each cooking ingredient goes. I pointed out that when they got the quantities wrong, too much or too little, or when they start making food that's for a long time before or after. Not the idiot. It's one of the more annoying things when someone wants you to take responsibility for a project, but insists that you do it in their style. It's especially irritating if your methods are your coping mechanisms, and they systematically take away your coping mechanisms while demanding that you continue. And that's exactly what your mom did to you. I'm petty enough to love that you took the spreadsheet with you, too. I'm sitting here giggling, thinking about you in the pool like, "You got this, right?" "Sure you do," singing "Carry On, My Wayward Mom." I'm chilling in the pool as you told me to. Problem? Anyone who says there's a problem is an idiot. I would go low contact with my family after this level of disrespect, but maybe OP has a different idea of things. When people try to sabotage your work and then act like you're the problem, you gotta draw boundaries and hold firm. Exactly. And how's this sister-in-law supposed to be a pro when it's her first dinner? I think the mom kicked OP out of the kitchen because she was trying to impress her new daughter-in-law. Then when it went wrong, she blamed OP instead of taking responsibility. So I half think that mom was low-key bullying OP to impress her new guest. A wrong thing will not lead to anything? What? It leads to all sorts of things. I can only imagine how expensive that wasted food for 30 freaking people was. Mom was embarrassed by the control freak style and wanted to chill, but she also wanted the structure and skill, an outcome of having the person there who does all the stuff well. She can't have both, and she was embarrassed by not having it work out. She doesn't seem used to the concept of follow-through. Next time, tell people you don't want help in the future. Tell them you're happy to cook, but if you're cooking, you're doing it alone. Otherwise, everyone else can bring their own dish. I'm 29 female, a university professor/researcher. My research focuses on maternity, law, and society. More recently, I've been diving deeper into how one of the repercussions of the child-free movement is the segregation of mothers. My family obviously knows what I do. My sister, 26, is getting married and is choosing to do a child-free wedding. Fine enough. She announced her choice to the family a few weeks ago. I said nothing. This weekend, a few cousins and close family members and I went out to brunch. My sister, out of the blue, asked me what my thoughts are about her child-free wedding. I said it was not the moment nor the place to talk about it. It was her wedding, and my studies are from a much broader point of view, not from an individual perspective. Nevertheless, she insists. She says she won't be upset, and now a few others want to hear what I have to say. Okay then, so I explained that from my research, I've found that child-free community events like birthdays and weddings have a bigger impact on mothers. How child-free events often burden the mother, the ones expected to care for the child, to stay away from them, excluding not just children, but women from participating in the social life of the community they're a part of. So how does this idea of having a day that's all yours, expecting your community to celebrate and support you, while excluding important members of any community, children, come from an individualist worldview while maintaining your expectations over your community? I did highlight again that my studies are not focused on one individual, but on the societal impacts of a changing dynamic in communities. I was more articulate than this, since I didn't have a word limit and answered a few questions that arose. However, my sister was quiet after that, and as soon as I noticed, I changed the subject, and everyone moved on to other topics. Well, yesterday, my sister called me to tell me I was very rude to say what I said, and that she was upset with me. I've been thinking about it, and I'm conflicted. I know it could cause problems, so I refused to answer the first time, but she insisted and said that it would be fine. So I don't know. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Was she fishing for a debate or an argument? She got the answer she asked for, knowing very well about what you research. Very well said, by the way. I've never seen child-free events from that perspective. You did everything right when giving your thoughts after being deliberately asked for them. I'm not sure what she expected, unless it was to validate her having a child-free wedding. It's weird that she would ask and reassure you she won't be upset, and then call you rude. You not only warned her, but gave her the information in a very professional manner. I wouldn't have been upset if it were me. I would go ahead with my child-free wedding, but it would give me food for thought. Also, thank you. I appreciate this input on the societal aspect of child-free events. It's an angle I've never thought of before, and it's interesting. Your broad themes and conclusions make total sense. I can absolutely see how that would happen. Not limited to weddings, but I've seen this happen in one friend group, which really sucked for the mom in question. She was lonely, isolated, and doing an unfair share of parenting. Your position clearly not only has merit, but also has support garnered from a body of social science research. So I wouldn't just dismiss it as unimportant or untrue. Certainly it wasn't rude for you to share it. I, 29 female, just got married to Tom, 32 male, 3 weeks ago. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with him. We just returned from our honeymoon in Japan a week later, and I got the wedding photos. My sister was a photographer since she has a business and wanted to gift us all the photos and videos. One of my bridesmaids, Hannah, 29 female, dad passed suddenly in a freak accident before the wedding. She has a necklace he bought her a few years ago, and she wanted to wear it on our wedding day, something she asked for on that day. Unfortunately, it didn't go with her dress at all, way too loud and long, and I thought it detracted from her dress. However, I didn't see this as a huge hill to die on, since I've read about editing wedding photos online and that it's a way for everyone to be happy. So she wore it in the photos, and I asked my sister if she could do me a solid and edit 2 versions of the photo, one copy with the necklace in it for Hannah, and one without the necklace in it for me. So I ended up having that photo printed and put up in the dining room of me and all my bridesmaids. Tom and I threw a barbecue to thank everyone again for coming to the wedding. It was all going well until Hannah saw the edited photo without the necklace framed and on my wall. I explained and told her that I thought it was a nice way to compromise since I didn't say it didn't go with the outfit at the wedding. She wasn't happy and said that the necklace meant a lot to her and it was rude to have it edited out. I apologized but pointed out that we gave her the photos where she was wearing a necklace and that I wanted my photo with my original vision on my wall. There are photos of her where she's wearing the necklace. It was just this one photo of all my bridesmaids and me in front of our venue that I had edited. All of the bridesmaids' dresses were handmade by me to match my theme and as a nice memento and part of their thanks for being in my bridal party. I would have designed hers differently if I knew she wanted to wear this necklace. She left pretty quickly after that and has refused to answer my calls or messages of me trying to apologize. Was this an idiot move? She still got to wear the necklace to the wedding and has photos of her in it also. But I wanted the outfits I made for my bridesmaids to be on show, not her dad's necklace. No idiots here. There's nothing wrong with you having an edited copy of the photo, but it was a little soon for your friend. Your friend's feelings are still raw. It felt like a jab to her. It wasn't. I know you know that. The other bridesmaids probably knew that. And your friend probably does too. But emotions are overwhelming. She just needs some time to go through grieving her father first. It was too soon, and that's not really anyone's fault. I'm sorry I wasn't as sensitive as I could have been. I got so lost in my own joy that I didn't stop thinking about how much you're grieving. I hope you can forgive me. Would you like to talk about your dad? Sometimes apologizing doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It's an acknowledgement that someone has been hurt and their emotions are all over the place. If it's an important friendship, swallowing pride and reaching out can go a long way. Weird scenario, but for the last 2 months, I, 28 female, and my husband, 31, lived on my sister-in-law's property. We have an RV parked beside our house, and we're using her electricity to run power. We have all of our meals with her husband, and her kids, and we also take showers indoors and do laundry. It is helping us out dramatically because we're able to save money for our home purchase. We couldn't save while we were in our rental. Now, the agreement is that I do house chores, sweeping, mopping, dishes, caring for our dogs, their laundry if I feel like it, and alternating cooking days, helping with grocery shopping, roughly $600 a month because we all eat together, and pay her $150 for water and electric we're using. So around $750 a month, plus all our housework is done by me. My husband does all the yard work, mowing, weed whacking, insect spraying, garbage runs, and driveway maintenance, as it's dirt and gets ruts. I'm currently 26 weeks pregnant as well. The point is, we do a lot. Sister-in-law, her husband, and her kids hardly ever lift a finger with us being here. Anyways, I'm currently not working. My husband owns his own business and is gone 40 to 50 hours a week and makes more than enough to provide all we need here. Plus, saving a significant amount for a house. He doesn't want me working while pregnant. I have hypertension, so I left my job 3 months ago. Well, lately, my sister-in-law has been sending me job alert after job alert, easily 8 to 10 plus a day. She's been dropping hints constantly. Every time we go anywhere, she'll be like, "These guys are hiring. I can grab you an app." I always say no. I do not need to work right now, as I'm contributing well beyond my means already. And my husband doesn't want me working right now. So she drops it, but then continues to send me the alerts. Yesterday, I was kind of fed up because sister-in-law asked me to do a lot more yesterday, and I was just exhausted. So I was cleaning, doing all their laundry, and scrubbing walls because they had a party planned. and she sent over an alert for a cleaning position, and I lost it. I responded with, "Okay, I will get a job, but that means you'll have no one to clean your dirty underwear and scrub your walls for you, and I will not be doing anything but my portion of the chores around here." She responded, "I'm just trying to help. There's no need to be nasty." My husband is on my side. Am I the idiot? Edit. We have talked about it. I thought the same thing, her being fed up with our arrangement, but my sister-in-law has clarified that she wants us here and doesn't even want us to buy a house, to the point of her talking about converting her barn into an apartment for us and making big plans for it without actually getting a yes from us. She says this is her way of helping, sending me job alerts, because she feels that two people need a job because she's resentful of her husband for not working. Not the idiot. The last line is what this is all about. So, her hubby is just sitting on his butt? Oh, she has a lot of anger. You guys need to move, even if it's to a fan camp situation that has hookups. What does she expect to happen when you give birth? This situation is going to get worse. I'm not even talking about the job alerts. This isn't healthy. You guys need to get out of there. Of course sister-in-law wants you there. She'll lose her indentured servant if you leave. You've been there for 2 months, and you already pay for a good chunk of their food, do most or all of their chores, pay your utilities, etc. This is ridiculous. They're using you to help them with their finances and housework. You have a high-risk pregnancy. None of this is good for you. Exactly. OP, for $750 a month, you can rent a spot for your RV, likely with extra accommodations that benefit you instead of sister-in-law, without the headache of dogs, cats, kids, secondhand smoke, and her lazy butt husband. Look after the little one and your own well-being, mental and physical. You're not the idiot. I kind of feel sorry for sister-in-law. It sounds like she's projecting and maybe even mentally struggling, but you can be supportive from afar. My wife has a young teen daughter from her first marriage. She calls me by my first name as she has a very present and active dad. My wife and I also have a toddler daughter and an infant son. Originally, my daughter was calling me daddy, but recently, she's been calling me by my first name. I let it go for a bit, but after a few months, it wasn't ending. I know it's innocent, and she's only doing it because her sister is. I don't make a big deal out of it. For example, if she says, "Can I please have some juice, Justin?" I'll respond, "Daddy'll get you some juice." I've gently told her before that I'm dad or daddy. Her sister calls me by my first name because she already has a dad. I'm not offended by this at all. I get it's normal. I just want to correct it now before it becomes a habit and it never ends, especially as we have a younger child who will soon learn how to talk. My wife thinks I'm overreacting and should just let her call me whatever she wishes. She claims if our kids called her by her first name, she wouldn't care, but they never have, so it's easy to say. I'm not on a power trip. I just think it's okay to want to be called dad. As long as I'm gently correcting her and not making a big deal, it shouldn't matter. The other night, my daughter asked for something using my first name. I said, "Dad will get it," and she corrected herself, saying, "Oh yes, please, Daddy." My wife rolled her eyes and said I had broken her spirit. Was I wrong to gently correct her for this? It's completely innocent. I know someone else who had their own child and 2 older stepkids. Little ones are too young to understand familiar relationships fully, and she's likely just copying her big sister. Just gently correct her. Not the idiot. Your kid is just copying her big sister. She's not a teenager. She's a confused little kid. Your wife should call you daddy in her presence, so she knows. Your wife is an idiot. I get that it doesn't bother her, but it clearly bothers you. And I think out of respect for you, she should be encouraging your daughter to call you dad, not Justin. There are many ways to break a person's spirit, but reminding them gently to call you dad is not one of them. Why doesn't your wife have your back? How would she feel if the child started calling her by her first name instead of mommy, I bet she'd be hurt.